Eddie, always great to see you, mate. What a fight we got coming up, October the 12th, Dimitri Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. I mean, can't wait for that. But before we get into it, we've got to start with Anthony Joshua. Last week, Daniel Dubois. It was a big shock, to be fair. I mean, look, he always had a chance, Dubois. We said that, to be fair. He was, he's a dangerous guy. That chaos creates opportunity. Would he get that opportunity? And he did, and he took it. But, big shock.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, going into the fight, I talked a lot about the dangers of the fight. We rated Dubois. I felt it was a 60-40 fight, something like that, to AJ. Fancied the job, as long as he did everything that he had to do and that he was drilled to do, and he didn't do it. Got off to probably the worst start you could ever imagine. Got hit by a right hand, pulling out in straight lines with his chin in the air. Most people, I don't think, would have got up from that shot. Recovered, got up. Second round, still on tentative legs. Got battered in the second round. In his corner, actually touched down on the floor, and the ref didn't call that a knockdown. He then got another 20 seconds of battering. Went down in the corner, got up again. Third round was treacherous. And then I felt like the fourth round, just although he was still in big trouble, you're starting to think, he might weather the storm here. You heard, obviously, the commentary in the corner in the fourth round. Spoke pretty well. Seemed to be with it. Fifth round comes up. He actually caught him with one shot in the fourth. I think it was an uppercut. And I think I thought, oh. And Dubois showed a good chin as well, actually, in the fight. Fifth round, came out, buzzed him with that right hand. And then, tried to do what, some people, you hear a lot of people saying, like Bunsey just said, if he would have just not got chinned there, I think he would have gone on to win the fight. Just kept chipping away, breaking him down. But in that moment when you're concussed,
of course,
he's looking at that, and I said to him, "That you deserve so much respect. You tried to win the fight." Spence, how many people say, I'll go out on my shield. I don't want to go at points. I'd rather get knocked clean out.
Yeah.
Who really, there's such a small minority of fighters
I agree.
Have that mentality, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
He smelt blood. He thought, this is my chance, and he tried to close the show.
He showed bollocks in there, and that is for sure, right from that opening bell. Like you say, disastrous start. I mean, it was sort of, the ring walks were polar opposites because Daniel Dubois come out like the Terminator, and you thought, he's up for it, fair play, he's ready. AJ come out very relaxed, and you're thinking, is he firing here? I feel like what is that?
Everybody debates after when AJ loses.
Of course.
He was I would love to sit here and say, camp didn't go very well. He had COVID. He was injured. He had a great camp. He looked sensational, right? He sparred brilliantly. He's chinning people in sparring. Mindset 100. Everything was fine. Do you know what I mean? Turned up to the arena a little bit late. Stretched in the hotel. The traffic was really bad. Come on, let's not clutch straws.
Yeah.
And the ring walk. He ring walks like always. Someone went. Do you know what someone said? Someone went, he stumbled a little bit as he walked through the tunnel. There was a big bit of carpet. I fell over on it about 6 times during the night. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They just analyse everything. Yeah. There's no excuses. He didn't perform in the ring, but Dubois did really well. Dubois did all the things they were working on, and Anthony didn't do any of the things that he was working on. And the game plan, they got it right, and they won the fight. So no excuses. And when people...
I mean, Eddie, clear this one up for us. Is there or isn't there a rematch clause in this one?
There is.
There is a rematch
clauses come in many different forms.
Right, okay.
We have an option.
Because I spoke to Frank yesterday, and he said there wasn't one.
No, but we have separate contracts, right? So normally, because of Riyadh season, otherwise, we would have a contract with Frank Warren, Daniel Dubois, and vice versa, right? So in this instance, we have a fight with Riyadh season. One more fight left with AJ. One of our options is to fight Daniel Dubois.
Right.
Now, our contract is with them.
If you activate that, does Daniel have to go into that fight?
His Excellency will deal with Frank and Daniel and make that fight happen, right? The terms of which will have to be agreed with Daniel Dubois. Our terms are already agreed for the rematch, okay? So people are like, they're really skirting around the question. Not really. We have the option to rematch Daniel Dubois. Now, at the same time, it's like our meetings with His Excellency, they want the rematch. His Excellency wants to make the rematch.
AJ wants the rematch as well.
AJ will always want the rematch because he's a fighter. Now, what we have to do, And Daniel Dubois is up for the rematch as well, no question. It's the biggest fight for him.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, I spoke to Don Charles and Daniel, and they
just
absolutely
stopped him. So they're not going to, you know. So now it's a case of going away. I'm seeing AJ tonight with His Excellency. We're going to talk about the future. And do we go straight into that rematch? And when would that rematch take place? You know, it was a heavy night at the office. I said to AJ, I saw you in your video. You ain't got a mark on you. I said, but you still got chinned. So we are not going back to fight in 10, 12 weeks. You need your rest. You need to recover. And now, you know, people keep talking about retiring, stuff like that. The one thing, when he's achieved what he's achieved in his career, and obviously when he's earned what he's earned, the last thing you ever want to do is carry on too long, right? But, as you know, you don't just learn what you've got left in fights. You prove it in the gym. And you know, when a fighter's deteriorating, it's not hard to see.
Everybody around
every
can
spar's
see.
poor. You're getting hurt in sparring. You're getting niggles. You're just not really up for it anymore. So that's things that we have to monitor moving forward. Right now, that camp was great. Looked brilliant. So we're just disappointed that he underperformed on the night. But for us, we believe still plenty left in the tank. And the plan now, as I said to AJ, is to look at 2025. There'll be 2 fights probably in 2025. And then after that, that might be it. You know, I said to AJ the other day, you've got probably between 1 and 3 fights left.
Yeah.
He went a bit quiet because I think he's quite sad at that, really.
I know that as well because I speak to him as well. And like, look, I know there's more left in him for sure. And it is about becoming 3-time world heavyweight champion. And whatever way that he does that, you know, whether that's rematching Daniel Dubois next. Spoke to Frank Warren yesterday, and Frank said Daniel doesn't box now until the new year. They're going to wait and see what happens with this unified heavyweight title fight, Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, then see where that lays there, or obviously with Anthony Joshua as well. So AJ's still very much in the mix, that's for sure, look, isn't it? I mean, and it's
people won't like me saying it. Still the biggest name out there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Saturday. Who else can do that?
Yeah.
You know,
that was insane.
It was unbelievable. It was one of the best nights I've ever been a part of, and we lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, you've got Fury, you've got AJ. The head and shoulders, biggest stars in British boxing by a mile. But the next step's going to be very important to what we do, and we've got to make the right decisions at the right time.
AJ Tyson Fury still very much a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I look at it and say, we've really got 2 options. We rematch Daniel Dubois, or we wait for December 21st, and we fight Tyson Fury after, win or lose.
Sure.
Because if Fury loses, well, let them at each other for 2 fights in 2025, and then that's probably their lot.
Brilliant.
If Fury wins, it defends against AJ for a chance for AJ to become a unified world champion.
So many big fights in this heavyweight division still going on.
But that's what we're seeing. We're seeing all these tremendous fights. Yeah. You know, you've got not just those guys. You've got Joseph Parker. You've got Daniel Dubois now. You've got Martin Bakoli with a good win. Ajit Kabayel, Hrgovic coming back. Jarrell Miller, Derek Chisora, Dillian White coming back.
Deontay Wilder possibly
exactly.
still in the
They've
mix.
got to all just keep fighting each other, and that's what we're seeing in Riyadh season.
Listen, you're talking about great fights. We've got one here.
Yeah.
We're going to quickly move on to this one. October the 12th, Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. Just had Todd Dubois in here. He's talking about Beterbiev and what a monster he is. Actually interviewed him as well. Man, a few words, but he is menacing, man. It's like sitting here with Mike Tyson or someone like that. You know,
you're not going to get the greatest interview.
I don't want to say the wrong thing here. No, you're not going to get the greatest interview, but you also don't want to overstep the mark either. But you're, man, boxing purist, lovely guy. Outside of the ring and a boxing purist in it. It's a great fight, Eddie.
For me, I think it's the best fight in boxing. Right? The undisputed light heavyweight world championship. Clash of styles, pure 50-50 fight. You know, Beterbiev, who's getting on, but seems to be defying the laws of time. An absolute beast. Bivol, master boxer. You know, we obviously, when we did the Canelo Alvarez fight, big underdog going into that fight, won the fight so easily. Obviously, Canelo's a smaller guy to Artur Beterbiev, but I just believe that Bivol will be too good for him. But with Beterbiev, you can never write him off because of his strength and power. You've got to find a way to keep him off you. And that's okay for the first 2 or 3, 4 rounds till he starts backing you up. But that's really what Bivol did so well against Canelo Alvarez. He couldn't get hold of him. And he's not like running. He's boxing in the pocket. He's throwing a lot of shots. The output's high. Then he's moving. He's spinning off. And can he do that against Beterbiev? The strength of Beterbiev. I mean, like I say, sometimes these heavyweight matchups have all the profile. But for me, I think this is probably the best fight in boxing.